in Vedic astrology, your sun is in Scorpio, as opposed to your Sagittarius sun, which would be your Western sign. So that's something that you have to consider. But, it's like Scorpio is all about diving to the depths and gathering information and going below the surface. And so they love to do things like interview and read and explore. It's about like gathering information, but in exploration, your moon in Vedic astrology is actually in Aries. And this is actually a super powerful year for Aries. So I'm sure that you're going through some sort of transformation. Since March of 2022 until November of 2023, this is a big year for Aries development and sense of self and ego and expansion and things like that.
Oh, my ego is always growing. So
that's Aries. They're incarnated to expand their ego. It's the first sign of the zodiac. So you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So the next time somebody gives you a hard time for having a big ego, just tell them that this is your karmic destiny and that you're allowed.
It's the universe made me this way. What am I supposed to do? Mm-hmm. Are you saying all the other babies in the hospital are basically clones of me or my personality? But obviously different parents, different upbringings, maybe they, mm-hmm. So I think you get where I'm going with it, but if my parents had taken home the wrong baby, would it still be me? Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I don't think so. I think it would be a different baby. So there are very complicated aspects to Vedic astrology. And so first of all, even if someone was born a few seconds after you, they're going to have different divisional charts. And so Vedic astrology, the original name for Vedic astrology is Jyotish, and that means science of light. And it's an Eastern science. And so in India, they approached astrology not as some type of like magic trick that you do at parties to entertain people, but as like engineering. Like it's held in very high regard, and it's incredibly complicated and technical. And so that being said, we have multiple different charts. We don't just have the birth chart. We also have different divisional charts that we want to assess in order to make predictions about somebody's life. So if a baby was born, let's just say within 5 seconds of you, it's like they're going to have a pretty similar natal birth chart. But when we look at their divisional charts, their destiny is still going to have differences. But it's like most of the babies born in the hospital, I imagine, would be born maybe 5 minutes apart, 13 minutes apart, 27. And then we're really getting some big differences with the birth charts when we're looking at that amount of time. I mean, 5 minutes is a lot in Vedic astrology, or it can be. And so to answer the question, no, it would be a different baby with a different destiny, but there can be similarities. It's like for all the babies born on your birthday, December 11th, it's like they're going to have moon in Aries, they're going to have Venus in Libra. They're going to have some similarities, but the way that it expresses through their life is going to be vastly different.
I couldn't tell from your reaction whether that was the funniest or the dumbest question that you've ever been asked.
It was amazing. I loved it. I wish that people asked me more questions like that, to be completely honest with you.
That's the way my brain works. Is
it a different baby, or is it still me? Let me contemplate this theoretical. I mean, we could get really philosophical with that question, honestly. But
well, I remember. I don't know why I shouldn't even bring this up, but I remember. I want to say it was like a newer Outer Limits episode, that TV show. In the 90s, when I remember watching it as a kid, someone went back in time to kill baby Hitler, and they did. And Hitler's parents just took their maids or their slave or whatever the heck it was, their servant's baby, and just paid her. And then they say, "Oh, here's Adolf." And basically the story was they were going to make this baby was now going to be Hitler. So the woman who killed baby Hitler really just killed a baby. And I always thought that's not true, but
so essentially it's like, I think that what you're touching on though is this concept of destiny. Right. It's like if there's going to be an event that happens, there's going to be a way, you know. And earlier you were talking about how it's like no such thing as predestination. I've got all the power. And I think that there is a lot of room for personal power. And again, it's like according to my belief system, there is a lot that is kind of karmically determined. And so there are certain events or certain people that we're supposed to meet. It's like, it doesn't really matter what we do. It will happen in some way.